Hey everyone, welcome to Cloudveil Health. Today, we're diving into an essential nutrient that plays a crucial role in our health, vitamin D. You might have heard it called the sunshine vitamin, but there's so much more to it. Stick around until the end because we've got some surprising facts about vitamin D that you won't want to miss. Vitamin D deficiency is a widespread global concern, with approximately 1 billion people around the world being deficient in this essential nutrient, including about 35% of U.S. adults. So what exactly is vitamin D? Vitamin D, also known as calciferol, is a fat-soluble nutrient that's vital for our body's functioning, with nearly every cell in our bodies having a receptor for it. It is informally referred to as the sunshine vitamin because our bodies can naturally produce vitamin D when exposed to the sun. We'll explain more about this process a bit later, and be sure to watch until the end to find out why the names vitamin D and sunshine vitamin might not be appropriate at all. Stay tuned. Let's talk about why vitamin D is so important. It has several critical roles, the most important of which is bone health. Vitamin D helps our bodies absorb calcium, which is essential for building and maintaining strong bones and teeth. Without sufficient vitamin D, bones can become thin, brittle, or deformed, potentially leading to osteomyelitis or osteoporosis in adults and rickets in children. Keep watching because at the end, we'll reveal why more isn't always better and may actually be harmful. But vitamin D doesn't just strengthen bones, it plays a role in strengthening muscles too. Vitamin D receptors are found in muscle tissue, and deficiency can lead to muscle weakness and increased risk of falls. Vitamin D also supports your immune system, helping to fight off infections. It acts as an immunomodulator, helping white blood cells to be more effective while decreasing inflammation. As if that isn't enough, vitamin D benefits the nervous system too, helping the brain and the body to communicate with each other. As we've seen, vitamin D is essential for many functions within the body. Later, we'll dig deeper into what vitamin D has not been shown to do, despite initial promising data. Stick around for this surprising information. Now, let's talk about deficiency. Be on the lookout for signs of deficiency, such as bone pain, muscle weakness, and fatigue. If you think you might be deficient, talk to your healthcare provider. A simple blood test measuring 25-hydroxyvitamin D will let you know what your vitamin D level is and if you are deficient. Routine screening is not recommended for everyone. Screening should be saved for those at risk, such as elderly individuals with a history of falls or fractures, and people with osteoporosis, osteomyelitis, or rickets. Overweight or obese individuals may want to get tested as they are at increased risk of deficiency. Since vitamin D is fat-soluble, which means it is stored in the body's fat tissue, a person with increased body fat may find that too much vitamin D is being stored in the fat and not enough of it is available for uses elsewhere in the body. People who have malabsorption syndromes, which are digestive conditions where the body cannot adequately absorb the nutrients in food, should also get tested. This can happen in conditions like inflammatory bowel disease or for people that have undergone bariatric surgery. People experiencing hyperparathyroidism, granulomatous disease, or lymphoma may also be at risk of deficiency. Individuals with a darker skin tone may also want to get tested. This is because people with darker skin produce more melanin, which lessens the skin's ability to make vitamin D when exposed to sunlight. Other conditions that may warrant testing include pregnant or breastfeeding women, people with chronic kidney disease or liver failure, and people with limited sun exposure. Often those at higher latitudes, which means they are further from the equator, have less sun exposure, especially during the winter. Taking certain medications might require testing as well, such as seizure medications, commonly called anticonvulsants, antifungal agents, steroid medications, also called glucocorticoids, HIV antivirals, and cholestyramine. Make sure to consult a healthcare professional if deficiency might be suspected, and they can advise you if testing is necessary. Let's talk about increasing your vitamin D levels. There are several ways, including sunshine, food, and supplements. Let's start with sunshine. Our skin produces vitamin D3 or cholecalciferol when exposed to the ultraviolet B radiation or UVB radiation of sunlight. While some experts suggest spending anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes in the midday sun several times per week without sunscreen, other experts warn against getting vitamin D through sun exposure due to risk of skin damage and skin cancer. If sunshine is used to increase vitamin D levels, remember that balance is key. Use sunscreen if you're going to be outside for extended periods of time. Keep in mind that some variables that can affect how much vitamin D you intake when exposed to the sun include skin color, body mass index or BMI, what part of the world you live in, what time of year it is, if there are any clouds in the sky, how much air pollution there is, what type of clothing you are wearing, and if you are wearing sunscreen. Next, let's talk about food. Surprisingly, not many foods are naturally rich in vitamin D. Egg yolks, beef liver, and fatty fishes, such as salmon, trout, mackerel, tuna, and sardines, contain vitamin D. Although only a few foods are naturally rich in vitamin D, many foods are fortified with it, including milk, yogurt, orange juice, and cereal. Some of these products are fortified with plant-based vitamin D for vegetarians and vegans. Even certain mushrooms exposed to ultraviolet light can make vitamin D2 or ergocalciferol, making them a valuable food source. Lastly, let's talk about supplements. Vitamin D3 supplements are available in two forms: D2 or ergocalciferol and D3 or cholecalciferol. Supplements can be particularly useful for those who struggle to get enough vitamin D from sunlight and food. They also come in various forms, such as tablets, capsules, and liquid drops, to meet the various needs of consumers. The vitamin D2 in supplements comes from yeast, while the vitamin D3 in supplements is typically extracted from lanolin from sheep's wool. However, there is a vegan form of vitamin D3 extracted from lichen for those wishing to avoid animal sources. While supplementation with both vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 help to increase vitamin D levels, vitamin D3 appears to be more potent and is therefore often favored by healthcare professionals. However, the benefit of using vitamin D2 is that the 50,000 international unit, or IU, dosage form is only available with a prescription, meaning that some insurers may pay for it. Vitamin D3 is only available over the counter, or OTC, and insurers do not typically pay for these non-prescription medications. Recommended daily intakes of vitamin D vary by organization and depend upon your age and health conditions. Always check with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement. Here is a table from the U.S. National Institutes of Health depicting the average recommended amounts of vitamin D per day. While vitamin D is essential, more isn't always better. Excessive intake can lead to toxicity, with symptoms like nausea, vomiting, weakness, loss of appetite, dehydration, excessive urination and thirst, and serious complications like kidney damage. But don't worry, it's quite rare and usually happens only with excessive supplement use. If you're considering supplements, it's a good idea to talk to your healthcare provider to find out the right dosage for you. Now, let's talk about what vitamin D does not do. Recent studies have shown that vitamin D supplements do not significantly reduce the risk of heart disease, cancer, or diabetes. While observational studies suggested potential benefits, randomized controlled trials have not confirmed these findings. Although results are mixed, there is no good data showing that vitamin D reduces the fall risk in the elderly. The data fail to show a consistent correlation. There is some evidence linking low vitamin D levels to depression, but supplementation has not consistently improved symptoms in clinical trials. The relationship between vitamin D and mental health is still being explored. Another interesting fact is that contrary to what you might expect, there is increasing evidence that very high doses of vitamin D can actually reduce bone density. It's hypothesized that excessive vitamin D may increase bone resorption, the process where bone is broken down. If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to subscribe to Cloudveil Health so we can continue to inform you about the latest health topics. And now for the exciting part. So, what is the surprising fact about vitamin D that will make you rethink everything you know about it? Vitamin D actually isn't even a vitamin at all. It's a hormone. It can be made in the body when the skin is exposed to UVB radiation, and vitamins, by definition, cannot be made in the body. So when someone says vitamin D, it's actually a misnomer. But don't expect any name changing anytime soon. Vitamin D has a ring to it that hormone D just doesn't have. To wrap things up, vitamin D is essential for many aspects of your health. Aim to get it from a combination of sunlight, food, and supplements if needed, so you can maintain healthy levels of this crucial nutrient. Always stick to recommended doses and consult with a healthcare provider for personalized advice. Check out this next video for more health and wellness tips, and until next time, stay happy and healthy.